Hi friends, this is Krish, the Urban Naxal, and tomorrow we have a case. Tomorrow is December 7th, Tuesday. We have a Runwal case hearing at City Civil Court in the afternoon. The sum and substance of the proceedings tomorrow will be this. Runwal will try to get orders to have our videos deleted because they claim that our videos are defamatory. They are defaming this company called Horizon Projects Private Limited. We, on the other hand, are claiming that Runwal's way of doing business is toxic to the common man, and we are just bringing it to light. We are just exposing it to the public in public interest. We are explaining to the public how they can get trapped in a web and lose a lot of money, lakhs of rupees, if they go to Runwal's sales office and swipe their card and attempt to buy a flat at Runwal My City or other Runwal projects. So this is the sum and substance of our case. Tomorrow I don't expect anything very significant to happen. There may be some arguments, and hopefully after tomorrow an order will be given by the judge. We hope that it will be kept for orders. That is the kind of order we are seeking, because we feel that Runwal is simply dragging out the case and trying to basically use the proceedings themselves in a way that it causes a nuisance for me and for the three people who have been dragged into this, namely Rajendra and Alvin and Acharya. Now these are Runwal's victims. They have lost money, and just for clarity, I am not a victim. I have not lost any money to Runwal. I am a journalist, I am an activist, and I speak on behalf of these people, and it is not out of any malice against Runwal. You must have seen that my channel contains 1,000 or so videos about various builders, not only Runwal. Earlier it was largely focused on Lodha, but earlier is around 2019, early 2020. Afterwards, the content of the channel has diversified, and it is now about a lot of builders. It's basically about the malpractices, the wrong practices that builders follow. What builders are doing is basically this: they are marketing their projects in a way that is not only non-transparent but amounts to a kind of a trap for people. So it's a trap for common flat buyers. They attract the flat buyers to their sales office. They say, "Sir, can you please come today? We have a project launch. Can you come in the weekend? We have a project launch, or we have a special offer going on for Diwali, for Christmas." This is the kind of offers they make to the public. And when someone casually goes there, probably not in a mood to swipe the token, swipe his card and book a flat, he may be casually looking at it, but they tend to trap that person or that couple into making a decision, an impulse purchase, right then on that same day. Now, impulse purchases are not good for you, my friends. They are never good for you, even if you're buying dresses or wallets or belts or shoes. But especially when you are purchasing real estate, which involves large sums of money like 40, 50 lakh rupees or 80, 90 lakh rupees or over a crore rupees. These are the kinds of, that's the kind of money that is involved in real estate purchase. That kind of a purchase should never be an impulse purchase. It should never be a purchase that you make on the same day by just swiping a token. You should always be given time to think for a few days, to consider the pros and cons, to do your internet research, all these things. Now, needless to say, what happens is when a flat buyer goes to, say, Runwal's site office, he has obviously not done his internet research. That is why he goes to the sales office. If he does his internet research, if he reads the kind of reviews they are getting, or watches videos that we make showing the victims of Runwal, then such people will obviously not land up in Runwal's sales office. So I'm using Runwal as an example. This is something which is common to all the builders or most of the builders who are selling real estate today. Now what happens is people go carelessly to the sales office, and the salesmen almost compel them, they surround them, they more or less hypnotize or brainwash them into swiping the card that day and giving a token of a very substantial amount, maybe 25,000-30,000 rupees, maybe 50,000-70,000 rupees, maybe even more. They squeeze them into giving a large amount of money, something they would not have done if they were taking their time about their purchase. Now, needless to say, when they swipe the token, people don't understand the contents of the deal. They don't understand the shape of the deal, the transaction. They don't know what is exactly in this application form which they are signing. They can't read, and they don't read the small print, and if they happen to read the small print, the terms and conditions, they will not understand it. They just don't understand it. A common man cannot understand the meaning of the terms and conditions, even if he is good at reading English. And by the way, most of the people who go to Runwal My City are not good at reading English. They are not good at reading legal English, and they don't have the capability to understand the terms and conditions that are there in the application form when they are signing up for a flat at Runwal My City. So what happens is people swipe the token. It's an impulse purchase which is driven by offers like, we are going to give you 20%, not 20%, but let us say we are going to give you 5% off. We will give you 3 lakhs rupees discount, and so on and so forth. These are prices never before heard of. This kind of talk happens, and the salesmen make the flat buyer recklessly swipe his card, pay a token, and after that the salesmen are after them they really sort of chase them, so that over the next 2 or 3 days or a week or 10 days they pay even more. They pay another 50,000, another 1 lakh rupees, another 2 lakh rupees, and so on. So they end up putting a very substantial amount of money into the bank account of Runwal. Something in the typical range of 4-5 lakh rupees. Now, once they have done that, most people are not in the mood to review their decision, simply because it becomes extremely difficult for them to review the decision. Now, when they have put that amount of money into Runwal's bank account, they start asking questions, they start doing their internet research, because somewhere or the other, when they consult with people, they realize that they have made a hasty purchase, an impulse purchase, and it is a dangerous purchase or a questionable purchase. People usually do this after they swipe the token or after they pay a large booking amount. Then they realize that they have stepped into a trap. Then they try to fight their way out of the trap. But the way that Runwal, and for that matter other builders, deal with this is, they say that, sir, you have signed on the application form, we are going to forfeit your amount. Now this is an unlawful stand, This is an unlawful stand because an application form is not a contract, it is not a deal, it is not a transaction. An application form is just that. It is a tricky piece of paperwork which is, I repeat, trickily drafted by the builder and his lawyers to trap the flat buyer. So they say, sir, you have signed on this, therefore now you are responsible, now you have to give up the amount that you have paid us. Now this turns into a kind of a win-win situation for the builder, and it turns into a lose-lose situation for the buyer, because he sees that he is not going to get the money back, and he says, now either I am going to lose this money or I will continue in the transaction, I will go forward and buy that flat, because I have no hope of regaining this large amount of 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, except if I go forward and make the transaction and then take possession of the flat. So people are forced and coerced to enter into this. In the case of Runwal, it is a profit-making proposition no matter what happens. If the buyer says, no, I'm cancelling, then Runwal says, we are forfeiting your token. Forfeiting actually is a wrong word that they use. It is confiscating your token or your booking amount. We are confiscating this large amount of money that you have paid to us, and we are not going to give it back to you. And they say this, and that amount is actually pure profit. There is nothing but profit in it for Runwal. Nothing but profit. They don't have to give a square inch of real estate. They don't have to give a brick to the flat buyer. Nothing at all. Pure profit. On the other hand, if he continues and buys the flat from them, that also is going to result in profit. So this is the kind of policies they have made. Just to clarify, this is illegal, this is unlawful. RERA has been very clear. RERA has given orders and judgments saying that if the registered agreement has not happened, then it means that effectively the deal was not concluded. And if the deal was not concluded, then the money should be refunded to the flat buyer. And there is no provision in RERA for taking away that money. There is no provision in RERA for forfeiting the token amount or the booking amount or any amount. This has been made very clear in RERA judgments and in the judgments of RERA's appellate tribunal also, when it has been challenged by builders. The logic of it is perfectly clear. The logic is, if you have the right to book, at the point of booking, you also have the right to cancel. So you are not bound. The builder makes it amply clear that he is not bound. But even then, they try to make you feel that you are bound and the transaction is complete, a contract has happened. And they will often use misleading words like, you have executed the application form. It is not executed an application form. You cannot execute an application form. You can only execute an agreement. But these are the kind of wordings they use to confuse you. Now friends, this is the conversation that we have been having, and this is a conversation that we need to have socially in a larger framework. Runwal and other builders are not responding. They don't want to talk about this in public domain because they know they are wrong. If I was wrong, I'm sure they would have very easily put out a press release and said, this guy Krishnaraj Rao doesn't know what he's talking about. They would have said that openly and clearly. They would have made a video mocking me. They would have debunked me. They would have shown laws and rules and case laws and judgments and all these things to show that what I'm saying is wrong. But they don't want to have this conversation in public domain. They just don't want this conversation to happen because they know in their heart of hearts that we are right. And so I hope, I pray, I don't pray to any God, but I fervently hope in my heart that truth will prevail, and we, in any case, will continue to do what we are doing, which is to awaken the flat buyers, to educate and inform and mentor the flat buyers so that they can make a safe and informed purchase. I am Krish the Urban Naxal, your friend. I will continue to support and assist and facilitate you and educate. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.